Um, Hi, my name's Nicole. I'm Nicole Als. I'm a Camden resident. I'm a mother. I'm an individual. I'm African Caribbean, born in England, and I'm disabled. Um, Thank you very much for inviting me today. The reason I'm here is really just to share my experience of being a mother with a disability. In 2011, my husband and I, we decided that we wanted to be pregnant and have a little baby. So we got pregnant, and I had quite a difficult pregnancy, which I think in my mind I wasn't really prepared for. I think I've always had a disability, so I just figured it was like everything else. I'm going to get on with it. I don't really care. However, it was very difficult, and getting towards the end of my pregnancy, I realized how difficult it could and it would become. I sought some advice, or tried to seek advice from local organizations within the community. I was specifically looking for support from other disabled parents or organizations, just so I could prepare myself a little bit for motherhood and living and merging motherhood with my disability. Unfortunately, I wasn't really able to find anything, and in desperation contacted social services. And just before my daughter was born, I had a visit from a social worker who happened to be a child protection social worker. Don't make me laugh, I've got a really loud laugh. So I was assessed, and I was assessed based on all the things that they thought, or how I may possibly harm my child, rather than how I could incorporate what I could do with my child and with my disability. Anyhow, once I have a very good friend who's also a social worker, and I told her what was going on, and she said, "Get rid of her now." And that's what I did, so I no longer engaged with that. I then, unfortunately, I had an emergency cesarean, and my daughter was born a bit early, and she had pneumonia, and she had a kidney problem. And within 4 days of her birth, I was in a coma. So it definitely didn't go the way I had planned it to go. However, coming out of hospital, so we eventually, obviously, we get through the experience. My daughter's at home with her dad and my mum. I come out of hospital, luckily, with the support of a REDS team, an early discharge team, and I realised I actually can't go home because my property wasn't accessible anymore. And being that it wasn't accessible, it meant that I then moved in with my mum and lived on the basement floor of her maisonette for approximately 20 months. And in that, I spent that whole time fighting with my council to be rehoused, all the while having to still pay rent on the property I couldn't actually access, and council tax. So it got to a point in the family home where it was just overcrowded. It wasn't realistic for me. It was really unhealthy. I was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder on top of postnatal depression. Luckily, my daughter is a gem, so she is my motivator. She kicked me in the butt to get on with it, Mum, and I did. And I spent a very long time beginning the fight and continuing the fight to be rehoused again. Eventually, I had to come out of that property, my mum's home, and I put myself in a travel lodge overnight, and I told the council, I can't go back where I came from, so what's going to happen? And they said, okay, well, stay the night where you are. Okay. Well, 6 months later, after the support of Claire Glassman, Petra Dando, I finally got out of there. And it was a trauma, to say the least, because I was moved from floor to floor. The lift stopped working, so I wasn't actually able to get out of the building. We had no amenities at all. We had no cooker, no fridge, no microwave. My daughter was 1, so she was still on milk. I couldn't heat it. I was heating milk in the kettle with the bottles, and I was trying to keep what food I did purchase cold in the ice boxes, which obviously would melt every night, and all our food would go off. And that happened for that whole period of time. And it was extremely traumatic. And it was quite disturbing also for my daughter. And all this time, my husband was still working. So everybody just kind of thought, well, he works, do something about it. But he wasn't working or earning enough to make a difference in how we were existing. And you have to bear in mind that at that same point, we were still paying rent on a property we couldn't be in. Because as far as the council are concerned, is that obviously my name's still on the tenancy. I'm still the tenant, and I've got to pay for it. And then they dropped the bomb and told me I'm also supposed to pay for the travel lodge, which was ridiculous amounts of money if you think it's a hotel, and quite a common hotel in the middle of Wembley. Thank you. So in terms of that experience, it's been traumatic. But I think one of the big issues for me really is that there was such a lack of accessible resources while I was pregnant. I didn't think about it because I just want to be a mum like any other mum. I enjoy motherhood more than anything. It's the best job, recognized, the best job I've ever had. I don't care about anything else. I really don't. I don't care about anything else. I am my daughter's nurturer, educator, nutritionist, hairstylist. I clean her butt. I do everything that I'm supposed to do, and I love every second of it. I'm tired, don't get me wrong, I'm tired. But I love it. I am passionate about being able to enjoy my daughter and watch every element of her development. I wouldn't want to be pressured to go back to work. I did experience some pressure because, my husband's like, we're broke. And I'm like, I'm raising our kid. I want to be at home and I want to be with her. And I have witnessed things that a lot of my friends haven't had the opportunity to witness. I saw her first crawl. I've got pictures of everything. The first crawl, the first belly roll, the first step, the first dinner, breakfast. I've done it all because I really wanted to engage with my daughter. And we have a very wonderful, powerful relationship together. I wouldn't change it for the world. It has had obstacles because I am disabled, and it has been difficult, but I've had to be creative and use innovative ways to achieve what I need to achieve. Nothing will stop me. Nothing has stopped me. Nothing will stop me. But I think these issues are something that really do need to be further highlighted. We need to look at it. I couldn't find a disabled mothers group. I wanted to talk to other mums. How do you do it? What do you do? How do you cope, when you're ill, when you're in pain? How do you manage? And I didn't get the opportunity to do that. And even now, I still, I don't really have that. I'm lucky enough to have a great friend set and family and a great community of lovely people who've been supporting me for years now. But my time is up, so... there would be a lot more really to be said, to be honest with you, but thank you for listening to whatever I was babbling on about, because I can't remember.